Hey, everybody, welcome to Dirty Thursday on Grand Forks Best Source. Tell you what, I am stoked today. Stephen Lewis, Dale the producer, and myself, for the first time, going to have some guys in here from Red River Valley Speedway in West Fargo. I am really, really excited about this show. He's been on before, but track announcer Corey Litton will be joining us along with Nick Skalicki and Jake Bitker. It's going to be a great time. Our show brought to you by River City Speedway and the Red River Valley Motorcyclist Spirit of America Bike and Car Show. It's the Red River Valley Motorcyclist Spirit of America Bike and Car Show, Saturday and Sunday, May 3rd and 4th at the Alaris Center in Grand Forks. Admission is just $10. Kids 12 and under are free with a paying adult, and veterans are absolutely free. There's going to be a raffle with $90,000 worth of prizes, including a Polaris 1000 North Star Ultimate Crew Cab Ranger, a Harley-Davidson Street Glide, and Polaris Sportsman 570, with the net proceeds benefiting the Veterans Honor Flight of North Dakota, Minnesota. Get your tickets by calling Scott at 406-899-5247 or Timothy at 701-739-1605 or go to rrvmnd.org. The Red River Valley Motorcyclist Spirit of America Bike and Car Show, Saturday and Sunday, May 3rd and 4th at the Alaris Center in Grand Forks. All righty, where do we even start? If you have any questions or comments, and good morning to everybody already commenting, feel free to text or call. Our number here at the studios is 701-213-0863, 701-213-0863. A lot of things to go through before we get the show going, including the first thing, most important first thing, jokes my neighbor tells me. Here we go, jokes my neighbor tells me. We do this every single day, and here is our joke today. What did Batman say to Robin before they got in the car? What did Batman say to Robin before they got in the car? Get in the car, Robin.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
That didn't go anywhere where I thought it was going to go, but
Get in the car, Robin. A couple of things to talk about. First off, let's see here. Dale, you have got some stuff going on in St. Hilary, my old stomping ground, St. Hilaire.
Yes. So, as you can see on screen here, they got an awesome meetup coming up on May 4th in just a couple of weeks here. I was talking to DJ McGregor last night. He helps up with a lot of the Baja racing, one of the many drivers there. So at May 4th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Broadway station in St. Hilaire, they're going to have a meet and greet with a bunch of the drivers there from Baja, Dirt Oval, and Demolition classes. Come over and meet them out. Kids 16 and under, you get half off a kid's meal and one free soda. They're also going to be having meat raffles to be sold during the event. All proceeds going to the Kynes Family Farm Baja and Thief River Falls Baja group. I was out there at the Kynes Family Farm calling their nationals, their season closer last fall there. It was a great time. It's going to be a great event. Meet a bunch of the drivers May 4th at the St. Hilaire Broadway Station. 1 to 4 p.m. Check it out.
All right, love Broadway Station, Chance Keefe and the guys over there. Dale, let's do a quick little talk about Devil's Lake last week. I know they were there was probably still snow on the ground in places, but they ran last week. How did that go?
Yeah, we had a little bit of a delay of a start, just opening season jitters, getting everything out of the way there, but we eventually got it rolling, and glad we did. Heather posted a great thing there, kind of explaining all the reasons explaining the delay, but we thank everyone for making it out and braving through the delays. Had a ton of great racing going on. Saw a lot of great debuts, got to see some of the new wraps for the season debuting. I got on the list there, the photos there, of all the winners. Brody Eckert won the Pure Stocks. They only had 3 cars that made it out for the Pure Stocks, but they put on a race like there was a field of 20. Great action with just those 3. For all the other classes, we had about 10 to 12 cars. Not too bad. For the street stocks, Colton Brower made his debut at Devil's Lake Speedway. His brother Braden did great last year in the area. Colton, his debut, a win, and Braden was right alongside him there in victory lane to support him. Lucas Rodin won for the Midwest Mods. McKenna Rommel, great, very impressive, her debut race of the season for her second year. She was not too far behind. She just finished 3rd and 2nd in the heat race. And Wissota Late Models, we had Tyler Peterson. His last time out at Devil's Lake, he won the Golden Hammer, but he got the win for the late models, all debuting. And also Wissota did a nice fun post last weekend saying those are for your late models, Midwest Mods, and street stocks. Those are your national points leaders, because we were the only Wissota race last weekend. And
right.
One nice little photo. Shout out to Stephen Lewis, Speedway Shots. He did a ton of great photography there. You can see just a few of the. Stephen, how many shots was it you got all together about?
I ended up ended up keeping about 700 of them. So
Only?
yep.
Only 700.
I came home with 1,000, so
Oh, wow.
I didn't.
Wow.
That's pretty good batting average.
But no, yeah, you could catch. Look at all of Steven's many photos. Seeing a lot of the cars debut their new updated wraps for the season. Like all those photos, check them out. Speedway Shots on Facebook. And yeah, thanks everyone for making it out. And John, you'll be there this weekend.
Yeah, I will. You're going to be gone. You've got priorities, WrestleMania coming up. So I didn't get to go there last year. I'm excited. What's up, Stephen Lewis with Joshua Johnson? More than everyone except Stephen. Come on, man. Show Stephen Lewis a little love here.
I must not have been much fun at lunch yesterday.
I saw the pictures of the dolly down. God darn it, I miss being there. And I do want to give a shout out to Dale because he just memorized more shit than I could do in the last 5 years. The 80s was kind of hard on me, okay? To all of you people that are texting and calling in already, thank you. I do want to say this. First one to call in and say, I want them. So all you got to do is text in 3 words. I want them. I've got a pair of tickets to the Spirit of America Bike and Car Show put on by the Red River Valley Motorcyclist Group, May 3rd and 4th at the Alaris Center. This is going to be one hell of a car show, bike and car show. All you got to do is text me 3 words. I want them. And the tickets are yours. I'll see that on there. And one last thing, we're still going to do tryouts for the other half of the bull ring, whatever they're going to call us this year. I do got a guy right now, and right now he is leading the pack and anybody else. But if somebody wants to give their shot at being our trackside announcer, feel free to reach out to me, and we will definitely give you a shot. But right now, I'm starting to lean towards a guy. Stephen Lewis, now I'm going to go to you first because you know all these guys. I mean, with Nick and Jake, I've heard their names a million times. They both walked. I could have walked into them out here. I would have had no idea who they were unless, they were with Corey. But tell us how you know all these guys because you've been around and you know more about this stuff than anybody.
Well,
be nice, Steven.
You see the look on his face. Okay, Brett Anderson, you got the tickets, man. Just swing by whenever. Okay, go ahead.
left Corey at about 9:45 there last night. So long day at Superior there. But as far as Jake's concerned, 2013 at Ada there. I was thinking on the way in here, we'll ask you, I'm sure, as we go along, when things went from Ingolsted's to you or whatever. But worked a couple years there at Norman County and whatever. And then not until 16 when Nick came along and they got together and revitalized Red River Valley Speedway after 4 years off. So, known all these guys quite a few years. And
all right. Well, I'm going to go around here, and we're going to talk to the panel today. First off, to my left is Jake Bitker. Tell us about yourself. I don't want to know a damn thing about racing. I just want to know about you.
Well, I'm the guy with 4 daughters and a goatee and a knife for skinning boys. That's me.
So you're saying watch out.
Yeah.
Okay. How old are your daughters?
22, gonna be 20 and 17 and gonna turn 15 in a little bit.
Ooh, boy. So the older ones, do they have a significant other?
They do.
And how does I don't even know if I dare ask. How does Jake feel about them?
The one
They might be watching now.
Yeah, the one I haven't met yet. So
Okay.
he hasn't.
So you don't like him.
I don't know.
You don't like him.
I can't say it and I don't like him. But
Okay.
I don't know yet.
well, he's on notice now after that intro.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the other one?
They're pretty good kid.
Pretty good kid?
He's a good guy. He's a hard worker.
And that is huge. I couldn't imagine. I've only got one kid, a son. He got lucky. He picked a good one like I did, but I couldn't imagine having all girls, and that would be a very big thing. Is he into racing and stuff like you're into, or is he completely different cat?
He's kind of into it. He's there. He's in Phoenix, and he does wraps and stuff for a big business.
Okay,
So
okay.
he wraps a lot of stuff that goes to Barrett Jackson.
Okay.
wow.
So what do you do for a living?
Well, for a living. What do you
Besides
want?
watch your daughters.
For a living, I'm a 3rd generation farmer.
Oh, okay.
My wife and I have a tire shop also,
Okay.
and my wife and I own Performance Auto in Fargo, North Dakota.
Okay, so that's where, like me, knows your
Yeah.
name. I had no idea you were a farmer. What do you mostly farm?
Sugar beets, wheat, and soybeans.
Okay, okay. And where's your farmland located?
Halsted, Minnesota, Norman County mainly.
Yeah,
So,
okay,
yep.
okay. I do haul beets for Todd Mack, so I still
okay.
get into that once in a while. And actually, I just turned 60. I'm from Thief River Falls originally. One of the best jobs I ever had in my life, besides the 40 years of radio, was farming. I farmed for some people by Thief River, and I absolutely loved it. I'm going to tell you right now, Jake, it's a pleasure to meet you, and I want to keep going here. Nick Skulicki in the studio. How are you doing, man?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Just to finally get to meet you guys, I'm glad, and I want to give a shout out to Corey for pulling this all off. But tell us a little bit about you. You are the director of operations. What does that mean? And tell us about you.
Well, I do a little bit of everything. Selling sponsorships, handing out tickets, watering the track, digging the track, packing the track, picking up puke periodically if somebody has too many. We did have an explosion in the bathroom one time, and I was not going to clean that up. I locked the door and out of service.
So it was a bodily function explosion.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah.
He had a liquid malfunction.
Oh, geez.
So yeah, I've about done it all. So it's good time.
Somebody is calling you Kingpin Nick.
Oh geez, yeah, that's Eckert, I'm gonna imagine.
Nope.
Oh,
Tony Obregon.
Close.
Kingpin Nick.
yeah, that come from him and Eckert. So.
Okay, so now what do you do? Because, I mean, yeah, it would be awesome if we could all make a full-time living working at our local dirt tracks, but that don't usually happen. So what do you do?
I own a plumbing business with my brother, just me and him. We don't really have any employees. We just keep it small and go from job to job. And I got two daughters. The oldest one's 27. She's married to Tim Estenson. I don't know if you know.
Oh, sure, sprint car driver.
You know who he is.
Yeah. I've heard the name once
So
or
now
twice.
I got a sprint car guy in the family.
Oh boy,
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
But anyway, so
Tim always needs a push start on everything.
and then my youngest, she's 21. She'll be a senior at Morehead State.
Oh,
next
wow. Now, what got me here a little bit was you talked about the explosion, and you're a plumber. But still, you know when to back out. You know when to say no.
year. Yeah, I'm not cleaning that up.
It's funny. I worked for a plumbing company for a year between radio gigs and this thing, and I had some good friends that own a company, but I got lucky. It was all new construction, so I didn't have to worry about those explosions or anything. It was pretty decent. Great to meet you too. I'm looking forward to this. And of course, we have got Corey Litton, track announcer. I'll
Last
give him a
but
round of
not
applause.
least.
Yep.
Why would you applause for him?
I was going to applause both of you guys, but
I don't have the headphones on, so I don't even get to hear it.
you missed out on it. How you doing, man?
Not bad. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Are you jonesing for the new season?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I already got nine races under my belt.
Oh,
because
do you?
of the ice racing season.
Sure. Yeah. And
which
where do you call
that was
the
a
ice
hoot.
racing most of the time?
Underwood, Minnesota.
And where is Underwood?
It's about 10 minutes from Fergus.
Oh,
so
that's
it's
okay.
It's not far at all.
Okay. Did you get to go to Lake Cameron at all this year?
I did make it once.
Yeah. And I wanted to, and then it kind of just nope, no more again.
It's
They've had a
not easy
tough
to
couple
get
of years.
outside
Yeah.
in the
No,
winter.
I know. And how long have you been an announcer?
Oh, I think I figured it out. I think this is, we're going into my 16th season at Buffalo River.
Okay.
This will be my 10th at Red River Valley. 10 at the Kart Club in
Yep.
West Fargo. It'd be my third over at Alec now, but I also did some in Jamestown for quite a bit. And I've kind of bounced around on Saturdays, but yeah, it's been, and I ran the radio broadcast in Ada for 10 years.
Yeah.
For Norman County Raceway. And it's stacking up
Right.
now.
And I'm going to ask all of you guys this: how'd you get your start in the biz?
I met a guy in a bar that had a radio show in Fargo.
Funny how
and he
that
said,
starts.
Hey, you like to talk about racing? You want to come on? And then it kind of snowballed.
Morphed.
Up to, I was a weekly guest, and then it turned into an actual show. And then tracks just were like, hey, do you want to come work? And we were getting to a point where Ron Krogh was at Buffalo River and he wanted to cut back. So I kind of got brought into the fold. And then after that, I was at the go-kart track all the time. And Nick's like, hey, you suck as a racer. Do you want to grab a microphone instead? I'm like, all right, I guess I can talk from now on.
Yeah.
I won 5 in a row that year, though. But and then it just snowballed. With Red River Valley started up, and Nick brought me right in right away. So it's just kind of gone like that.
You know, it's funny how this all starts, how we get our start in the business, because with me, when I met my wife, I was just building a new street stock. It was a Howe Series 5 back in the day. And I met my wife, and we started getting pretty serious, and she was going to go to grad school. And well, right then, I couldn't afford a race car, obviously. I had to pick up extra side jobs and things like that. And I sold the car before I got it done, but she had always told me, one day when I get my PhD, and I get my first job, I'll buy you another race car. And I'm like, okay, fine. Well, we got set back a year because of the flood in '97 and all of these things. And well, by then I had picked up this gig at River City Speedway. And I was just trackside then, and all of a sudden and I was loving it. And one day she just goes, what's time? And I go, what are you talking about now? Here we go. Well, I got my degree. I got my PhD. I got a job. What kind of race car do you want? I don't think it took me 30 seconds to go, I think I'm good. I think I'm good right now, and ended up doing the broadcasting thing or the announcing thing, and I'm glad I did. I mean, I get to meet some of the best people on the planet. I get to hang around with these guys, and I am guaranteed money every single night. And I don't know how many people can say that at a racetrack. So there we go.
Not very
Not
many.
promoters.
No, right. Okay, now how did you get your start in the business?
Oh, jeepers. I don't know. I've always been a motorhead my whole life, and I started racing in enduros. I did demolition derbies and enduros, at Norman County Raceway back in the day, and at the fair race, and kind of started traveling and doing different enduro races. And it just, when Inglestead's opened up Norman County back to weekly racing, I'm like, you know what? I want to go racing.
Yeah.
And because I was helping a friend building pier stocks and street stocks and stuff like that, just in helping him race, and that was it. And I don't know if you remember Roger Hansen back in the day. I'd help him. He was my grandpa's neighbor. And
Oh, okay.
I'd help him and stuff like that. And Chad Tormson, we're talking in the 90s.
Yeah. And that's funny when you talk about demo derbies, because they were back in the day. I'm from Thief River.
Yeah,
The Pennington
huge.
County Fair demo derby was like winning Indy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could win that thing, and that's how I got my start. And then we moved here, and the next thing you know, I was running. They used to have an enduro series at Buffalo River.
Yeah,
and
I ran that.
I ran
Yep.
that too. And maybe you were the guy that gave me a headache. I got hit so hard one time there, I still have a headache, and that was a long time ago. But that was a lot of fun. Running those enduro races. All right, and now I'm going to move on, and I want to find out a little bit about you, Nick. How did you get your start in this whole crazy world of dirt track racing?
Well, I started in enduros too. I probably did that for 3 years, and I'm like, this is way too much work. We need to start racing weekly. So got hooked up with Bobby Blue, started on my first car, and he wasn't getting it done. So then I ended up doing a plumbing job for Jay McDonald
Okay.
when he lived in Fargo. And I'm like, hey, I got this Camaro. I said, could you finish it for me? And he's like, who's got it? And I told him, and he's like, well, you go get it here. I'll get it done. And he got it done pretty quick. And then, it was a blast right out of the gate. And I used him as my setup guy. Cause I was just a suitcase racer.
Sure,
Just brought
sure.
my bag and raced. And
Yep.
my middle brother would work on the car all the time. And him and Jay, they were trying all this cutting edge stuff back when I did it. And I wish I had the rule book from back then when I raced. I think there was 3 pages in it. So you imagine how vague them rules were.
Yeah.
And we pushed it right to the edge all the time. And, and we wrecked a lot of stuff and blew up a lot of stuff, but I had a blast. And then started up the go-kart track. And as I was sitting over there all the time, I'm like, why is the big track not going?
Yeah.
We got to get this going somehow. And thought about it, and Jake was the only guy and I didn't know him at the time on a personal level at all. And I reached out to him. I don't know how I got his number, and I said, would you consider starting up Fargo? Nope, I got too much going on. So I'm like, shit, now I'm on, now what am I going to do? And he called me back a week later, and I'm like, oh my God, he's thinking about it. So him and I had lunch, and then I was just hit it off after that. But he's dead on what it took, what it was going to take. And what'd you say, them first 3 years? It was hell.
Oh, yeah.
We're like, what are we doing here? And then, him and I and Charnel, you always know the end goal.
Yep.
And that's what keeps you, going. But, and it's hard when I go to go-karts on Monday, I think me and Corey were talking about it on the way up. We got 35 kids possibly that are racing big cars, and it's like, if you quit just one track, then what are they going to do?
Exactly.
I mean, they got other tracks they can go to, but they want to race in their backyard. if
Right.
they can.
And you see it all over the country, dirt tracks closing down, and it's just a shame because when it comes to go-karts compared to dirt track racing, like I was telling our new girl back there, a lot of these guys you see on the wall up there, they got their start in a go-kart, and it's huge. But was it hard for you to step away from behind the wheel thing into doing what you're doing now? And I'm going to ask you the same thing, or was it kind of a
No.
nice transition where you go, you know what, this isn't so bad?
And so when I raced, it was the half mile, and I had way too many football injuries, high school injuries, and it picked up. It come full tuition racing, and I'm not blaming the seats and stuff. I mean, they got way nicer seats now than when I raced, but I'm like, there was multiple mornings I couldn't even get out of bed. I'm like, did I drink too much or what the hell's going on here? And then, so I wouldn't drink the next week and still do good. And I'm like, there's something messed up here. So I went in and I'm still paying for it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, 5 knee surgeries, 2 lower back and neck, and 47 broken bones for me.
But I'll tell you this, it was way easier racing than running a racetrack.
Oh, I bet.
There's times you're just like, what are we doing?
And how about you? Was it hard to step away and do what you're doing now, or was it a decent transition for you?
Well, it was a little tough at first. Then I was like, okay, I can't race at my own racetrack. I can't race at Norman County Raceway because all I could think about was, we got to prep this track different as I'm racing, and I'm like going backwards all the time. But I tried to race a little bit. Just racing was my hobby.
Yep, right.
That's all it was. But yeah, so when it went to promoting, it was time to step back. And I mean, but my kids have raced and stuff like that. And my youngest daughter races snowcross, so we race 12 months out of the year. So
Okay, yeah.
as a family, so it's been my wife she would go with my friends to the enduros and she'd pull the car
Oh, okay.
and do the lap
Sure.
counting. I wouldn't even be there because I'd be farming.
Okay.
So
sure.
I mean,
So-
Charnel's way into it.
So at Red River Valley Speedway, it wasn't this year, but last winter, I was driving by. I was on a road trip going somewhere and back, and I saw there was the snowcross track there because they had the snowcross races, but the track was there all the time, and there were people there. Seemed like the lights were on all the time. Was that you guys, or who was that?
No, that was Chad Allenstead with
Okay.
All Finished Concrete.
Okay,
they had a team, and they were putting on the big ice hockey snowcross stuff.
Okay. Corey, we do have a request from Joshua Johnson. Odd request for Corey. Can he say, we'll do it live for those of us listening?
We'll do it live.
Okay, hold on. There we go. Oh, you can't hear that again
No, I
either.
can't even hear it. That's my Bill O'Reilly impression right
Oh,
there.
okay.
Do it live.
Well, Joshua, I hope you got your fix there.
Well, at least no one had the Bert Blyleven moment.
Right,
Oh,
yeah.
we're live.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
We're live?
Well, we can actually get away with saying the F-bomb here. It's not that bad. It's funny when you talk about when it was still a half-mile racetrack. I do have a story, and I'm going to be honest, I haven't been to the track since it was a half mile. And we used to bring a 360 sprint car up there because the Outlaws would come and you could run both. They had a 360 and the 410. And it was funny because it rained so hard that they had us pitted on a gravel road way behind the racetrack. And I remember going, when we got there, I was walking, just checking the track out, and all of a sudden I'm walking next to Carl Kinzer. And I see Carl doing the old, and I had a screwdriver, and I see him doing the old poke the track thing, so I'm kind of poking the track a little bit too, and it's like, hey. And he's like, hey. I said, what do you think of the track? He goes, what are you racing? I said, a 360. Oh, and the guy talked to me walking around the whole entire half mile of this racetrack, and it was just a great guy, and so that is that's pretty bad when that's my fondest memory of a racetrack is walking and doing a lap with Carl Kinzer, poking the dirt with a screwdriver. That tells you how my life goes. Last year, and since the resurgence of the track, great place, great facility. Talk about last year. Any big races, anything like that you want to mention before we start talking about this year? Either one of you guys, any one of you.
Well, I would go and say probably the World of Outlaws race
Yeah.
we had last year was probably one of the most memorable races we had all season because you had local guy Andy Pake putting on a show.
Yeah.
Nick and I were talking on the way up here that, he had QuickTime for a while.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then won his heat. And we had all of Felton, Minnesota sitting right in front of us in that section in front of that booth. And that was the most raucous I've seen that crowd in decades. And it was awesome. And then being in the infield for that when he was still in contention for a lot of that race.
Yeah.
I've never seen the crowd that amped. I'd probably say since like Tony Stewart night the first time he was in town.
Oh, sure.
That I've seen a crowd that energetic and that electric out there.
And it was about time when they came out with the 305 sprint class. It was just a matter of time who's going to do it around here besides Knoxville.
Yeah.
They finally did it. We knew what this was going to produce. I mean, you got the Eisenshank girls, you got Paik, and, of course, we witnessed Brad. We watched Brad run forever. And I'm from Thief River. I was an Arctic Cat ditch pickle guy, and he was running the Arctic Cat colors, and the guy was winning the hell out of everything. But it's great to see him. And are we going to be seeing him more, as far as in a 410 this year?
I think so.
Pretty much exclusively.
He's been talking. I know Mike just wrapped like 5 of his wings the other day over from Superior Customs. And it sounds like he's got a 410. He's going to be doing a lot more of that.
Okay. Eric wants to know, does anybody know, is Tony coming back? I was hoping we'd see him in Grand Forks, but we never did. So
I don't think he knows how to turn anymore.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He only does
He won last
stuff.
week, straight line. And he's got a kid now, too. So that's all right. But, yeah, it'd be great to see him back. Okay, so this year now we're looking at the track schedule, and I don't know who wants to start, but first off, what is your normal weekly classes that you guys normally run?
In Fargo, we run Legends, Hobby Stocks, Sport Mods, Stock Cars, Modifieds, and then the Race Saver Sprints.
Okay. Now, you said in Fargo, now you're also part of Norman County West, is that right?
Norman County Raceway.
Or Norman County Raceway of Norman County.
Jake and Charnel kind of spearhead that, and then I help out.
Okay, because we were going to try to get you on last week.
Yeah,
with Mark. Okay. Doing farm stuff or what?
No.
No,
Just
looking after one of my daughters.
Yeah, no, just busy. I go wherever I'm needed.
Sure. No, I get that. Now, when we're looking at the schedule, you guys, what I like about what you do is you'll pick a class during the season and do the meet and greet thing. That's a cool thing. A lot of guys will try to do that all in one night, and you never know what classes are going to be there that night. But the meet and greet thing, I think, is really cool. But when we look at, and you guys do fireworks and all that stuff too, which we don't do around here much, but got the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars coming again on May 31st. How jacked are you guys about that? Because that's a hell of a show. I don't know what the crowds are like there anymore, but it's got to be incredible.
Well, this will be their 9th year now, I think, coming, and this will be the first time that they're coming twice.
Yeah,
We've been asking, and Jake and Bruce and Adam Visser, we prove year after year that we're worthy of 2 shows, and now we finally got that. So hopefully the fans show up and support it so that it can continue in 26. So that's pretty damn exciting for us. And then we're just kind of sticking with what we normally do. The only thing we missed out last year was the Howie Schill Memorial Race. And we got just over 4 inches of rain.
Yeah,
so.
we ended up getting that over here because they had to do something.
In 9 years, I'd never seen Red River Valley Speedway that wet
Isn't
ever
that
in
crazy?
my life.
Yeah.
At 9 years, it's never been like that.
Wow.
So, in a nutshell, the schedule is a mimic of, the last couple of years. I mean, why you don't need to reinvent the wheel when it's working.
Absolutely.
So
Thank you.
We're just sticking with what we know, and Jake and I have said numerous times our Friday night stuff is our bread and butter.
Sure. Absolutely.
The specials are icing on the cake and stuff like that, and just go with that.
People don't realize that, like you said, the specials are the icing on the cake. Well, look at all these people. They're making a ton of money. Well, it costs a ton of money to put on that show. That brings in a ton of money, too. Before we got into this year's schedule, I should have taken a break because we're about that part of the show. We're halfway in. Let's take a little break. We'll be back. We're talking more about Red River Valley Speedway in West Fargo right after this, okay? April 19th, the Valvoline Tire One Toughest Monster Truck Tour Championship presented by Baymont by Wyndham Grand Forks will return to the Alaris Center with the nation's toughest monster trucks, including a brand new truck never seen before in North Dakota. Want to make it even more exciting? Grab a pit pass and come early. Walk on the dirt, Get up close to these massive machines, meet the drivers, and snap some awesome selfies. Tickets are available at the Trans System box office or online at aleracenter.com. Pit passes are available for free at Valvoline Tire 1 in Grand Forks and $15 wherever tickets are sold. Don't miss the Monster Truck Fun April 19th at the Alara Center. And when you stop in to Valvoline Instant Oil Change, tell them Grand Forks Best Source sent you for $10 off an oil change. It's the Valvoline Tire 1 toughest monster trucks April 19th at the Alara Center in Grand Forks. All right, we are back, everybody. Welcome to Dirty Thursday, brought to you by River City Speedway. Of course, myself and my co-host, Stephen Lewis, and Dale, the producer. In with us today with Red River Valley Speedway out of West Fargo, and, of course, Norman County Speedway in Ada. We've got Jake Bitker, who's the promoter, Nick Skalicki, who's the director of operations, and, of course, track announcer Corey Litton. We're just getting into this year's schedule. How many times do you guys do fireworks? Because I see it listed more than once.
Fargo, we just do it twice, and
Okay.
that's we kind of. I got to know Star Fireworks pretty well, so we try to do everything before July 4th.
Oh, sure, because that's
after
when they're
that, nobody's
crazy.
thinking of it. So you always got I think the second show that we have them coming, I think I have a buffer week in there, I call it. So if we were to get too many sprinkles, I don't say the R word.
Sure.
Then we can just back it up to the next week, and they love it because it helped. And they have a store or a building set up there on the ground, so it's a win-win for them.
Right.
Which I think you ran into that problem once last year trying to get the night in and had to push them the one night. So
Yeah, and then I think it was last year it was pretty late. And,
2 years ago, I think it was a little late, and I was like, oh.
So I asked the guy, and I got to know the guy that lights them off pretty well, and I'm like, you think there's a time ordinance? No, we'll just push the button and we'll just pay for it later.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know we get fined here at a certain time, and they just say, screw it, and we're just going to keep rolling with it. I did want to ask Corey this when we were talking about the World of Outlaws. It's really cool. This year will be the third annual Danny Schatz Memorial, and a lot of people, if you didn't know who Danny was, I was fortunate enough to know the guy. Of course, the Schatz, the matriarch or whatever, if you would, of the Schatz family. But how cool is that to be able to name a race after a great guy?
It's pretty awesome. I mean, you guys get to know that firsthand having the Sites Memorial up here. So, I mean, us having a special for Danny Schatz is pretty awesome because Danny he's a Hall of Famer up there now.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
He contributed a lot to the sport, and I mean, he's the main reason why the track is the way it is today. And you know, the Schatz family, they go way back. They're big supporters in racing. They not only just being good at racing, they supported it
Absolutely.
all these years with the kart club and everything else.
And they still all do. You know?
My favorite Danny Schatz moment was one time at the kart club. They donated the PA, and we're trying to hook it up, and we're having all kinds of issues. And we had a wireless microphone, and it was working briefly, and Danny had just wired the amp into the speakers and everything. It was working, and then I went to check the microphone again, and it nothing came out. And he's looking at me like he's going to rip my head off.
He had that way.
And I went, oh, I forgot to turn it on. And he goes, you know what I like about you? And before I had a chance to answer, he goes, not a thing. So,
That is a great story. That is a great story. Kim Young says best show in Fargo was Wolfgang passing Kinzer on the last lap, but I didn't get to see that one.
1991. You will be soon. We've got the video in the
Oh,
archives.
okay.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yep.
We got King of the Wings Hall of Fame night. I mean, are there any nights on here? I mean, like you say, you know, it's just a different year, but are there any nights that really are you guys are just super stoked for?
The Bison Battle, June 6th is a lot of fun. Different kind of night. We do like time trials almost. Qualifying racing for a few classes. It's just a lot of fun, and we've done stuff where people have donated money for laps. So if you led lap 10, you might get $30 to $100 or something. You know, just kind of a lot of fun. A lot of that stuff really is a lot of fun. That one's fun. A big thing for our sprint car races this year is Ellingson came on board. Derek Ellingson from Ellingson Drainage
Okay.
came on board to present the Rumble in the Red. May 31st is what we're calling it, and the Duel in the Dakotas for August 23rd. So
Nice.
Yep.
I was going to ask Nick, when the World of Outlaws come, and I'm going to ask you the same thing because we deal with these guys every year. But are there a lot of changes and things you have to worry about? You have to have in the back of your mind, the Outlaws are here. This is what we got to do different.
I think maybe the first couple of years it was a whirlwind for us,
Yeah.
you know, because you're not used to it. But now it's secondhand. Now
Mm-hmm.
it's just big. You know, it's getting the ambulance, lined up is the biggest thing, and then you got to make sure you got security, and then you got to have extra people because it. And Jake will attest to this because he worked up front, ripping tickets this year because we were short on people. Is the people tailgate so hard and bullshit out in the parking lot, but as soon as the cars fire to do hot laps,
They all try to get
it's
in at
like
once.
a pack of cattle coming.
Yep.
So it's like, you just wish that you could get them in there sooner, but you can't.
Right.
So,
And that's how it is here too. Now,
Yeah.
what about you as an announcer, sharing the booth with the World of Outlaw crew because they
Yes.
bring a lot of stuff, a lot of people, a lot of equipment. I've learned sometimes the hard way how to get along with these guys and everything. But is there anything different that you have to do up there?
I do a lot less.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
probably shouldn't admit this around the people that pay me to do this, but
Right.
I do a lot less.
There's some of my favorite nights because all I got to worry about are the late models, But
I basically I walk into the booth at a point where I know Johnny's not busy
Yep.
or anything like that, and make sure he's not talking when I do it too. And he just hands me a microphone, and I talk in it when he throws it to me, and I throw it back to him when I'm done.
Right, and it's the same with me. And I learned this because I love Johnny Gibson. I love those guys. But it got to the point where I just shut up and talk when they tell me to. It makes things a lot easier.
It is a lot easier. I mean, you could go in there with an ego and say, "Well, I'm the one that I'm at this track.
This is our house.
This is my place."
Yep.
But no, it doesn't
No.
work out very good after that. They just get just as cranky and
yeah.
egotistical at you.
Well, you got to
And
figure these guys are doing
it's easier
it.
just to do less.
Right, and they're doing it all year long, traveling all year long, and I get it, especially the second time around here when they're coming up. I'd be a little burnt.
I can't be the only asshole that's made Johnny Gibson mad in my life.
I have
mean,
too.
I'm pretty sure every announcer I know has.
Oh,
at least
whether
pushed
they
a
tried
button.
to or not.
Yeah.
But Johnny, I think you still owe me a beer for the whole Pittsburgh Penguins, Minnesota Wild thing. So anyway.
Don't ask follow-up questions.
No, I noticed on the schedule for this year, I'll throw it up on screen here. I see a couple of times. I was talking to a couple late model drivers in the pits at Devil's Lake last year, and they said how, like, hey, we haven't gave Red River Valley Speedway a shot, but we're going there this weekend and we're looking forward to trying it out, and they loved it. They had a good time. I just think it's great you guys got the late models coming back this year.
Yeah, it's Charnel and I'm a late model nut. I love the late models, and so is my wife. That's our favorite,
Sure.
favorite kind. I love all the classes with the younger kids in it too, and I like all classes, but late models is pretty near and dear to my heart. I still have one.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was about to say I was going to parlay off of that, and then you've had Calvin running it. I think this will be his third year, kind of running a show or two.
Yeah,
in it,
he ran out of talent last year before the Outlaw show in Ada, so we kind of just told him, we'll see.
Okay. Is that how you said it?
Yeah, I got a picture of it. He parked it on the wall.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're the talent left with the wall.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, let's take a look at some pictures. How about we're gonna take a look at some pictures. You guys can just jump in whenever you want and talk about these because, to be honest with you, I really got to go to the bathroom. All right.
Oh, this was like one of the first years there. I had been working with the track. This is on coming down turn out of turn 2. I've been working with the corner, and when I saw that picture, I was like, "Oh, it works."
Yeah, this is one of my favorite pictures too. One of the Speedway shots, ones that Mike Speaker got. This is for anybody that ever says the racing's not as good as it was with the half mile.
Yeah.
This picture usually it's a race between Mike Speaker and myself to post this picture, and it goes to show you that. No, it's pretty awesome.
I have a feeling this is a pretty big special there because we got a Rogotsky, we got Walla on the outside.
And Bryce Bierkin.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
one of the Scott brothers, ain't it?
yeah.
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 This was early on in year 2 or 3, I think. I want to say it was year 2.
Was that when we did the Red River Mod Tour?
Maybe
That might have been what it was.
That's
Yeah.
what it was. Yep, that's what it was.
We've had that many years in here now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd put the 9 years we've already had with since the track reopened against any 9 years in the existence of the Red River Valley Speedway, and I've been going there since 1983. So
Yeah.
I would put it up against any of the 9 years that have existed in racing in Red River Valley Speedway. So
I didn't even realize until this morning, 10th season.
That's
yeah,
right.
Nick and I talk about how crazy that is.
Yeah.
And of course, the man himself, right there. I mean, I consider myself really lucky to get to follow in the footsteps of Rod Miller. You know, he's one of the greatest to ever do it.
That's more than once you have sent me that picture, and I know how you feel. I mean, yeah, they're.
We've had a lot of good announcers that were there before me. I mean, Ron Krogh did some time in there too when the Shots has had the track, and actually the tail end of the half mile. Larry Nelson was there for a bit, and Larry's one of the nicest people that you could ever meet. And so.
Actually,
to say that I've been in the same spot,
Right.
My voice has come out of the same speakers as those
Did you-
guys.
Yeah.
It's great.
Did you ever had Rod come up there with you?
Yes.
Was that a few years ago, or when was that?
That was when we had the Minn Kota reunion.
Yep, okay, yep.
In fact, I still have his final wheel-to-wheel call on my phone. So here we go.
Wow. That is cool.
You got a cavalry charge for the back of that?
I do.
Can we hear that quick?
Later on.
Okay.
Okay.
So a funny story about Rod Miller. So he was announcing when I raced there back in the street stocks, and he'd come and talk to like everybody in the pits. He just kind of breezed by, asked how you're doing, and I remember he'd walk by because we were having some bad luck, and he's like, "What do you think tonight, there, 3? You gonna blow up, or are we gonna put this in victory lane?" And I'm like, "Oh, really?"
You gotta sink
I'm
or
like,
swim.
well, I said, "Oh, that was nice of you." And then it was funny. So then Jim Smith was flagging. So my middle brother, he put a $50 bill underneath the hood pin. He said, "This is what we're gonna do. If Nick wins, he said he can have that $50." And Rod's like, "You're seriously gonna leave that on there the whole night?" And he said, "Damn right. We'll see if it stays on there." And sure shit, we won. And he just ate that up. He's like, I love you guys, And then, but he was just so nice, how personable he was, and just bullshitting with everybody.
Rebecca says, I've been putting up with you guys for that long. Jeez. Dave Rosenthal, play Rock and Robin. Mike Speaker, Corey needs to tell the story of the greatest comeback in dirt track racing history. Mike Anderson's heat race during the mod tour.
That's a picture I put up. And
Okay.
I think I sent that one in.
Was that in 2016 or was that the 2021?
That
was 2020.
2020 because
Okay, because Speaker thought it was 202016.
that was 2016.
Yeah, that was the mod picture.
That was okay.
2016 Sanders Mod Tour.
Okay, I was in the bathroom. I missed it.
I knew it was when we made it into a tour, and it was a bigger race than just kind of the regional between the
sure.
two tracks. I think we had 4 races.
We did 4 races that year, yep.
What's that picture?
What's that picture?
That looks like my wife's tire on her car after trying to park and rubbing the curb.
I kind of hit the wall with the water truck.
He's kind of. That fender looks a little oblong too.
Oh, I built it that way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that tire does look like it's got some scuff marks on it. Did
Yeah.
you leave a black mark on the wall?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep, I did. I hit it hard, too.
Oh, so I was going to say, did you know you hit it?
Oh, I knew I hit it.
Because I know everybody else knew you did.
Yep.
Now, is that part of you get in that water truck all the time?
Yeah, that's the part I love to, being a farmer, playing in the dirt.
Sure.
That's my gig.
Right. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, I took that picture out of my water truck. That's our helper, Nicholas
I was
Jacobson.
going to say, that doesn't look like you.
Scott Jacobson's son.
Okay.
He comes out and helps Dick and I all the time. We're training him. He is the next promoter of Red River Valley Speedway.
How old's the kid?
He's 12.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I think he just had a birthday.
He just had a birthday. He's turned 13.
now.
13. Teenager now.
Yeah,
That is cool.
Yeah, so I took a picture and sent to his mom, him watering the track with me. She wasn't impressed.
No. How much does that truck weigh with water?
Oh, that's heavy.
Yeah.
It's got 1,500 gallons of water on it,
Holy. That is cool.
I wonder what's scarier, the water truck or the kart club? Probably the water truck, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. He does a good job.
Yeah.
That is an incredible picture. I don't know who took it.
I don't know.
This one-
That's at the go-kart track.
This is the final night of last year at the kart club.
I mean, look at all the different colors in that picture. That is incredible.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun doing that go-kart track. I mean, every year something crazy happens. It's always impressive. It's awesome. I mean, I love having that ability to be out there.
And with me, I would love to be at the go-kart track every Wednesday, but that's when we fish. So we have our league fishing. Tommy Corcoran says, Rod was a great guy to visit with during my years in the 70s and 80s. Yeah, the 80s is my problem, Tommy. But wow, there we go.
This is Andy leading his heat race last August.
Oh, sure.
Last year was the first time since a half mile we had to scrape the wall.
Oh, yeah.
The race, that was the first time since the half mile we've had to scrape the wall to get stripes in so they could see it coming out of 4.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, you can see where the door is up on the booth, and almost that entire section was his hometown.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I bet.
And, I don't think they sat down for the entire heat race after he took the lead.
And what a great kid. I mean, he's been on the show here
awesome.
once when he was first getting into the 305s, but what a great kid.
I tell his dad all the time, I said, you were great. He's going to be way better than
Oh,
you ever were.
yeah. Keep him off the snowmobiles, though.
Yeah.
Just keep racing cars.
This is just a regular weekly shot. It's one of my favorite ones that came from the Speedway Shots crew, and our stock cars are amazing too. It's the class has taken off, and the amount of talent that's in there. You look at it, the car that's in last in that, won one of the Dakota Mod Tours and finished second the next year.
Oh
in the
boy!
Dakota Mod Tour.
And who? Yeah, okay.
That's Rob Van Mill.
Yep, Van Mill.
And actually, there's 2 former tour winners in there with Trent Greger in the 71, and it's.
Well, I
we
mean,
put on shows like that every week.
Yeah, and just look at the group. I mean, how many laps you think they're in there? And this is probably like lap 4 or 5, and they're still running like that.
Todd Heinrich's in the lead. He's no slouch. He's really gotten even better the last couple of years.
He won the stock car portion of the late model show in Ada.
That's right.
Yeah, he sure did. And if you know a little bit about that, they just had buried his mother-in-law hours before that.
Oh, wow.
And came out and won it. The whole family was there.
Wow.
It was when he got out of his car in Victory Lane, I mean, I had goosebumps.
Yeah, Wow.
And Tyler McDougall makes things interesting in that 28 car. He's always capable of winning too. And this is for a paved track, there's action out there at that go-kart track.
Hell yeah.
And a lot of these kids are already jumping up into bigger cars.
Sure.
The Clark kid there that's leading that pack, he's already up. Dalton Babcock in the 27, he's planning on it in a couple of years.
Maverick Strand this year, right?
That's right. Yeah.
I don't see the Stevenator in there.
Well, I did try to put a picture of the Stevenator in there, but we couldn't find it. It was one where he unfortunately flipped.
Oh, no.
And then, how many years was it that you had the go-kart track? We didn't have a single rollover.
Then he's the first one.
And he flips on the very last night of the season.
We were talking about the 70s and 80s with Tommy Corcoran. He said Ron Krogh was racing back then as well.
That's right.
Yeah, oh, wow. All right, what do we got next? There we go.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that was
Hooked.
There's a couple of legends right there.
Yes. Mitch Johnson, that 00. I mean, we just put him in a Hall of Fame too.
Yeah.
And that's one of my personal highlights is just getting to call a race with him in it.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I've missed the majority of his career, and then he took a couple
Right.
years off.
Yep.
If Mike's watching, is that Donnie or Amelia?
I think that's Donnie, isn't it? Well, maybe not.
I can't tell.
I think it might be Amelia.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
Pretty low on the seat.
Yeah.
There's stuff on that car that Donnie doesn't have in his 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that might be Amelia. And
That's a great
two
shot.
generations of great racing.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, it's Donnie.
Oh,
so
it's Donnie.
it's the Outlaw show 2 years ago. Then.
Okay.
There we
Yep.
go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
Jim says, tell them about when the flag man threw the white flag and everyone thought it was the checker.
That's, again, yeah.
It's coming.
I thought I sent that picture in, but I must not have. But this one where, this is another great shot. This is, I think, this is
Outlaw show again. I think
Outlaw
in August.
show.
Yeah, look at the crowd.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Jason Berg, I texted you today, so get back to me. Oh, there's a bug in here.
It's spring.
So Mike chimes in again. 94 wins in that pick alone at Red River Valley Speedway
Holy shit.
between the two of them.
Wow.
And yeah, that's incredible.
Look at that. That is crazy. That is a great picture.
And when we had the Outlaw Late Models there, that was one of my favorite races too.
We had 11 days to promote that race. They called us and we're like, we're in a jam. You know, can you guys host? Because the other track couldn't anymore because of COVID. And I'm like thinking to myself, this was 12 when they called me, and I'm like, I'd have 11 days to promote. Yeah, I can do it.
We can do it.
We can do it. I called Nick. We're doing this.
Hell yeah. It's like, what?
I suppose we've had two references to it, so I better talk about it. But the greatest comeback of all time was at the 2020 stock car portion of the Dakota Mod Tour in Fargo, where Mike Anderson kind of half spun on lap 1, and we did not throw a yellow for it because we needed to get through everything.
Yep.
And so he came back out on the track about 3/4 of a lap down, and coming to the white, Matt Speckman was leading, and coming to the white flag, he pulled off, and then everybody else started to pull off.
Yeah, follow
Here
the
comes
leader.
Mike Anderson, who's also kind of pulling off, and then he drops back in, and and as that's happening, like, you can hear on the broadcast of that there are people telling him, hey, Jared Adler was saying, hey, that was the white flag, guys. There's still one more lap to go. And then the flag man got on there and said it too. And then as that's happening, Mike kind of slowly turns and drops back into the track. And the crowd was absolutely going nuts in that one too. That was probably the second loudest I've ever heard it.
Yep.
And he comes around and takes the win from 3/4 of a lap down on the white flag lap.
Jeez.
And everybody else is turning around, and that had to have been pure chaos in the back.
Yeah.
And we had people jumping up and down, and that's why I was not able to see really much of the back straightaway after that. And not only did everybody was still coming out when he was cooling down, so he made another lap. So he finished first and fourth in that heat race.
I think I missed one photo to queue up, the one you were referencing a little earlier. Can you message it to me? I'll get it worked in here in a minute here. So, yeah.
First and fourth.
That was the one part of that story. The one part of that story that I was going to add. If you didn't, I was like, he got first and third in that heat race. So, but
That is funny. All right, are there more, or was that it?
Corey's sending me one more here,
but
but
try and work in the
Okay,
the stock
okay.
car picture there.
Michael says, love the Woo show in Ada last year. I heard nothing but good things about that show.
Well, Corey looks for this picture. We asked Jake how much. There was a lot of special stuff that needed to be done there from adding stands and whatever, but the city really embraced it, and it was a really nice show. If you want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it was. I tell you what, that was a group community effort to put that on. I had already done the logistics for it a few years prior because in the back of my mind, I was thinking about it, and I was like, I really want to do a big show one day, and I'd actually had presented the logistics to High Limits earlier in the year, so to Brad Sweet and Kyle Larson, because I was like, we could do a High Limit show in Ada.
Oh boy, yeah.
I'm like, that'd be pretty cool, and but they really want to do one in Fargo, and then the World of Outlaws are like, well, you do that, we're out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and it's like, okay,
come on, man.
Come on, guys.
Help a promoter out.
Yeah, and so then we were having a conflict with the late model race because of the fair in Fargo, and which is not a big deal. Whatever, it happens, and they're like, well, do you want to do it in Ada? And I'm like, yep. And I'd already fixed the backstretch fence to handle it, the catch fence. I'm on an old horse track in a county fairgrounds that has been racing for 107 years. Yeah. So I still have a POW, World War II POW fence. I have to keep up. That is my tire fence.
Yeah.
So
because wasn't there like some kind of interment camp or something there?
POW camp was on the fairgrounds. The German and Polish people would come and prisoners of war of World War II. They would work harvest.
Yep. Okay.
So it's one of our Coliseums was the housing.
Wow, what an
So
amazing
when Mark
story.
said that about that fence being a tournament cap fence, I thought that was a joke. When Rob Van Mill went off and hit that, I was like,
Yeah.
So that's no wow.
That is
no
serious.
Joke.
That fence.
Wow.
Yeah, and I have to leave it there, because it's part of the deal, just like our grandstand.
Historic register kind of stuff.
Just like our grandstands. But I had a front stretch fence. I had to do some different work on. What is Josh picking on me?
No. Said the World of Outlaws
maybe
Late
a
Model
little.
Show was the biggest thing to come to Ada since the Judds played the
was.
fair in 1983.
It was.
Mama,
how it was
she's
promoted,
crazy.
too.
That's how we promoted it. It was because the problem was the Judds. It rained so bad that morning they couldn't have it at the grandstands on the racetrack.
Oh.
They had to take it to the high school, and it was like 100 degrees in the high school.
Oh, that is funny. Joshua also says, don't forget to hype up the Ada Nationals.
Oh yeah, Ada Nationals. Yeah, and,
Josh's favorite, I think.
Yeah,
out of any race.
Josh's
so.
favorite.
Yeah, yep.
And but yeah, World of Outlaws and Ada. I mean, catch fence. I built handicap ramps for the main grandstands. We brought in 7 or 8 or 9. I can't remember. Portable bleachers.
Yeah.
I had capacity for over 4,000 people because you just don't know what to expect.
Right.
And it was an awesome night. It was so much fun. Brandon Shepard, after the race on the front stretch, comes up to me and he goes, "Where you been hiding this little gem from me?"
Yeah.
He goes, because I've helped him in Fargo prep the track for him, do some testing and stuff with Donnie, and he was just like, I can't believe it. Nick Hoffman, they were fighting over the trophy. I built a special trophy for him, and custom built a trophy, and that's what they were racing over. The trophy was the coolest thing to them.
So you said you had to bring in these grandstands. In a place like Ada, you don't just go to grandstands or us. I mean, let's just go down to the grandstand store. They're right down at the end of Main Street here. How the hell do you pull that off?
Well, actually, there's this guy in Big Lake, Minnesota that has Big Lake Grandstand Rental.
He was a thing.
Well, okay then.
He half our grandstands came from rodeo at Mystic Lake Casino that just got done, and the other half came from Bemidji State from some big event they had at Bemidji State. And he pulled them in over the week and set them up in an awesome family. It's a family-run business.
Yeah.
His wife, his son, his nephew, his brother-in-law, and just a super family. Run business out of Big Lake, Minnesota, and I literally Googled portable grandstands and found them.
And that's one thing we do. There's a lot of racing podcasts out there, and they'll talk to race car drivers, and I don't have the long hair like some of these guys do, but we like to talk about this kind of stuff because people don't realize that might go to the racetrack on Thursdays or Fridays. There's a lot more to it than just showing up and watching these guys go around in circles. And I think the true race fans get it. They know who to go say, man, you did a great job. But the majority of the people, they don't know who you are. They don't know who you are. They don't know who any of us are unless they see us roaming around. They probably know you more than anybody else because you're, at least visible with the camera in your face. But people just don't get what it takes. I mean, you're doing 9 million jobs. You guys all are. And just to make something like this happen. But tell you something, it'd be easy to say, no, I'm done with this. But there's
like
something
5 times
right here,
already this year.
right.
This year.
But there's something right here, that keeps a guy doing this stuff. It's just like one day, nah. I mean, I'm right now, I am planning my retirement around, this is ridiculous, racing and catfishing. My wife's like, we need to get out of here. Okay, we can in the middle of September. Otherwise, I'm back here in May.
There's certain racers that do the same thing.
All right.
It is one and the same.
Yeah. That's crazy how this goes.
They
We
never
do
move
have
off
that.
the bottom.
We do have that stock car pick quick.
Okay,
if we want
let's take a look at
before we
this.
wrap.
One more quick thing about it is, normally when you work with another announcer, you talk and then when you come up for air, the other guy takes over.
Yep.
I was working with the great Chad Meyer out of Northwest Iowa, and super awesome guy. We didn't let up when we were coming up for air. We let up when we started laughing.
Yeah.
We'd laugh and move away from the microphone, and then the next person would take it up till they started laughing, and then we just kind of alternated. You can hear us in the background just chuckling the whole entire time.
Those are the fun times.
But look at the scoreboard on that one.
He's nowhere near it.
Yeah,
Holy.
he's not even in the top 5.
Yep.
Jeez. Oh.
He's my neighbor at the lake too. So
Okay.
we reminisce about this at least once or twice a year.
I want to say, Kaylee just said this, and this is something we can all attest to, and especially us announcers in the room here, because we're usually the punching bag or the whipping post. It's easier to bitch about everything that goes wrong versus praising the good. And with social media now, and I was beating this, you texted me last week or the week before about this, it's really easy for people to bitch on social media about things, and being an announcer, I mean, I'll have somebody come up to me and bitch about beer prices or about the track not being this or that. And it's like, dude, I'm just an announcer. Amanda Joe, great show today. Awesome to see Red River Valley Speedway preview this year. Now, I know with Red River Valley, corporate sponsors, people who help out, you guys want to give a shout out to any of these, because now is the time to do it.
Oh, I get to do it. All right. Brenco, Cleety, Corwin, Finley Motors, Christian Cars Online, Titan Machinery, Magnum Contracting, Kubota, I-29 Trailers Sales, Sanders Metal Products. Oh man, there's so many. Buffalo Wild Wings, Miller Lite. I'm drawing all RDO Machinery.
Corwin, Kubota.
Thor Buildings. Magnum Contracting Homes, Randall's Excavating, we got in there, Stutzman Harley, U Motors, Casey's General Store. Did I hit them all? I think Gear Wrench. Yeah. No, we have a great group of people, and then there's so many others that help us year in and year out. Earthworks Services, we have to remove the dirt for the fair. They come in and drop equipment off for us to help put it back in. They'll even send a guy. So, we'll spend 6 hours removing the dirt, 4 hours removing the fence so everybody can go to concerts and stuff, and then we'll spend a day putting it back together.
I was going to say, how many days putting it all back together?
A day putting it back together, and then Bruce Visser from Visser Grading, he comes and does his magic.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he sprinkles some fairy dust on it, and just his grader just goes across it, and it's just like, all right.
He doesn't have blue hair, does he?
No, he does
okay,
not.
Good.
No.
Great job with the track every year. Steve says that. Casey, is PA open tomorrow? I need gas and tires.
Yes, it is.
All right, how about that?
And it was Kelvin's birthday yesterday, so if you go to P Auto, say happy birthday to Kelvin.
Happy belated, Kelvin.
Yeah.
I do want to ask this because it's something I started to pick up on here recently. We have our favorite foods at different racetracks. What is the go-to food at Red River Valley Speedway? Is there one in your opinion or your opinion or your opinion?
I don't know. I usually just I do hit the concession stand, and if you eat at the concession stand as much as I do, you can have a body like mine too.
Yeah. Thank God for that new term called dad bod.
The Twisted Spork does concessions out at Red River Valley Speedway. They do a pretty good job. The loaded spork fries are pretty awesome. It's like waffle fries.
Oh yeah,
It's like taco salad, but like a waffle fries. And
yep.
Stuff.
Are you a ketchup with fries guy?
Yeah, dip them in there.
Yeah, okay.
I don't drench them. But.
Right, okay. Gosh, we got to get, the only problem is I'm always working on Friday nights. We got to do one of those shows. Now, do you guys tweak the schedule at all? I've got it right in front of me, but I didn't look because I know like 4th of July week and things like that. Will you guys just take that day off, or do you tweak the schedule at all for anything like that?
We're kind of forced to. We have to take a gap there because of the fair.
Right. Oh yeah, the fair.
10-day fair, which it's pretty. I mean, if we start in early May, and you go all the way till the end of June, that's a grind.
Yeah.
So it's actually good for the racers to have a couple weeks. Some will complain, but they get a couple weeks off, regroup, and.
Well, what was the deal with the fair last year? Wasn't it like a month long?
It was 3 different weekends, which I think is still the time frame.
Still the same time frame as we're having now, but it was 3 different weekends. It was just weird.
Does that make sense?
In my book?
Yeah.
No.
It doesn't in mine. No. I mean, and maybe some of these questions I shouldn't be asking you guys because we don't want to piss anybody off from the local fair boards
I think
or anything.
They were just trying something
new.
And that's what Cody's always looking for, that different avenue.
Absolutely, and I get that.
Different than what him and I do on schedule and races.
And Cody calls us all the time, and he's thinking about something, and will it affect us? So he's very good at communicating that.
You
stuff.
always want it to be bigger and better every year. You want more people. You want more of everything. Eric says, great show. Can't wait till the season starts. Boys, gentlemen, we're already well over an hour into it, but is there anything that I missed out on?
Mike Speaker sent me just a couple of last-minute photos. I don't know if you just want to do just a quick little thing there for you guys on the screen right there. So.
Yeah, that's the grandstand at Norman County Raceway.
That's Norman. That's cool.
And if you look to the right of that grandstand, I put 3 extra sets of bleachers, portable bleachers there.
Yep.
And then over to the left of it, I put another one. So there's 4 extra on the front side, and there's Bruce grading it. And you can see, so we used to have a guardrail wall, and actually Bruce and I took the guardrail wall out, and my cousin Kevin Bitker hauled us in K-rails. So we put a full concrete K-rail wall in because our guardrail wall was built in the early 80s, and it just had been beat up, the fair guys put it in. And Bruce bladed the track. It was almost Christmas time. We bladed the racetrack.
No kidding.
In 23.
Yeah. Wow.
In 23, it was Christmas time. We actually bladed the racetrack because we needed to move some dirt.
Do you ever sleep?
Yeah, I sleep great.
Okay. Do you ever sleep?
Not really.
Okay.
But one quick thing about this late model race. So that was the first year last year, and Norman County Raceway made the top 10 of all the late model races that they ran last year. So if you go back in their archives, we were 10th.
That is awesome.
And you're up against some pretty heavy hitter tracks.
And there's nothing north of Minneapolis, St. Paul, but rocks and cows. And there's no such thing as anything but that. But all right.
Oh, the boss is standing there. That's the true boss. That's Charnel. That's my wife.
Okay.
She gets 9 votes. Nick and I get a half each.
Oh.
That's a sick custom trophy.
That's the trophy. And those guys loved that trophy. They were talking about it before the race because,
that's cool.
Yeah, Steve Francis called me. We were actually just got done putting Red River Valley Speedway back together. The guys on the farm helped me. I got a great group of guys on the farm that work for us, and so they give Nick and I a lot of support when we need it. I mean, they're building stuff for us right now.
Oh, wow.
For the World of Outlaw race.
Jeez,
for this year, they're helping us. And Steve Francis called me and he goes, well, we had a first. And I'd been waiting for the other shoe to drop. There was no bad comments. There was nothing bad. It was all positive, behind the scenes even. And I was like, oh, now what? And he's on speakerphone and I got my guys on the farm and they're just sitting there anticipating it. And he's like, nobody complained. He goes, the drivers, the crew members, the workers at World of All. He goes, everybody loved it. Everybody loved the atmosphere. Everybody loved the hospitality. They're just like, you awesome job.
And these guys get it. They go everywhere. They're at every track that there are, good or bad. And I think a lot of these guys, especially at the World of Outlaw late models, they're a great group to work with.
Absolutely.
But I think they appreciate the effort that goes in to make it just like, just another Friday, but we got the World of Outlaw late models here. They appreciate it when a track goes above and beyond everything to make this the show that they want it to be and that you guys want it to be. And that's appreciated.
Yeah.
And it's nice when that appreciation is it goes downhill and it tells you and they tell you and they say, wow, this was incredible. And that's, you're always on pins and needles like, geez, how did that go? Or what, like you said, when are we going to hear something? You hear that, it's like, poof, here we go. Can't wait till next year. Let's start working on it.
Yeah, and if you ever have a chance to meet Steve Francis' wife, she's awesome. Her and my wife hit it off right away, and she's a great person. She grew up, her parents promoted. So they are a great team to be running. To be the competition development, I call them the competition.
Sure.
They're both a team at it, and for the World of all the late models, they got a great team going there.
Man, this is. I wish we could do this all day, but we can't. Any parting last words for any of you guys?
Just come out to the races. Family friendly at Red River Valley Speedway Friday nights. Our goal is to get done by 9:30, 10 o'clock every night, so you can get home. Beer prices are going to be lower this year.
Oh, hold on. Okay.
Yeah, the fair agreed to lower the beer prices. So
do you have Busch Light?
I don't know if we have. Yeah, we do.
Okay, hold on. Okay.
And if you come, I'll get you one.
Oh, I gotta wait for this to stop so I can do it again. Okay, that'll be. Thank you. And any parting words for you guys?
Just thanks for the time, and to any fan out there, just you got to support local racing. No matter where you live, to keep it alive. It's a lot of tracks are struggling. Everybody's on the decline, and we need to flip the narrative somehow and get it going the other way.
Absolutely. I want to tell you right now, Corey Litton, man, I tell you what, I have leaned on you a lot in the last couple of years since we finally met.
Yeah.
I have leaned on you a lot, and gosh, I'm so appreciative of what you do, and to be able to get guys like this and drag everybody over from wherever to come and hang out with Stephen Lewis and Dale, the producer, and myself for an hour and a half just to, I don't know, to do one of these shows, but we sure appreciate it. And any parting words for you, my friend?
There's always this, big rumor that there's heads butting, between Grand Forks and Fargo, the racetracks and everything. And I just kind of echo the statements from before to kind of expand on that. It really isn't much of a rivalry.
No, there's not.
Between
There's
certain
not.
people. Like anytime I wasn't working in Fargo, I was always up here.
Yep.
And we encourage the same, from everybody up here. We have a lot to offer the racing world, and it's always a lot of fun to get to go to other tracks too, and we'll put on just as good a show as Grand Forks any day of the week. As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and I get that. Well, we've got 6 racetracks in 4 nights. Yeah. You're gonna have to double up, but. Yeah,
I always like to grab more things at the buffet than just one thing.
Absolutely,
And
you couldn't put it any better.
Yeah, racing in this whole area is just excellent, and that Norman County race, that World of Outlaw late model race, this is the first time I actually got to sit down in 10 years and watch a race out there, and that was unbelievable out there. I sat in the infield for it. That was, by the way, a smart move on that one, Jake.
Yep.
I like that.
Infield seating. So your general ticket, it's $40. You can sit in the pits. You can sit in the grandstands. You can sit in the infield. Drink in the pits.
I'm gonna remember that because I'm gonna go to these tracks as soon as I can. www.facebook.com/Red River Valley Speedway. Check it out. You guys, again, thank you for coming. Now that I know you guys, I can't wait to run into you somewhere at a racetrack or even just run into you somewhere. But this is awesome. Any parting words for you, my friend?
Oh, it was always good to have new folks on the show, and another good one.
Can we make this a regular thing?
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
That is awesome. You guys, thank you. Stephen Lewis, thanks again for coming. Dale, the producer, always doing a great job. Jake Bitker, promoter. Nick Skulicki, the director of operations. And, of course, Corey Linton, the track announcer. Red River Valley Speedway in West Fargo. And, of course, don't forget about the racetrack over in Ada, Norman County Raceway. Couple of great racetracks. I got to get to them. You guys, our show today, by the way, brought to you by Rumor Sports Bar and Casino. They are right over there, right across the hallway from us. I'm looking at them right now. They got great food. Stop in. They've got all these, lunch and dinner specials with the $7 express lunch. The NHL playoffs start real soon, along with the NBA playoffs. Wall-to-wall TVs. There you can go check out all of your favorite sports teams. If there's something you want to go to, UND Sports, maybe a concert, maybe dancing for the special stars. Rumors always has buses going to and from. You can bet on the horses. You can play bingo. Try your luck with charitable gaming. Monday is DJ Trivia Night. Initials game every second Tuesday night. It's just a great place to be. Open 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. 7 days a week. Rumor Sports Bar and Casino been with us on Dirty Thursday since day one. Again, thanks to all the guys that were here today on the show. What a great show. We've had a lot of great comments. Thank you all for commenting. Brew Brothers, 9 o'clock tonight. If you like beer, you're going to love the Brew Brothers podcast. Remember to like, share, tag, and follow us. Hit that notification bell on your smartphone. You never miss a show. We'll catch you in the morning. We love the Forks. Well, Grand Forks' best source has given the Forks their identity back.